Once, in a kingdom far away, there lived a wise and far-sighted king. No, he believed a kingdom becomes truly strong when its people are responsible. One day, he decided it was time to teach his sons, the future leaders, a lesson they would never forget. As the sun began to rise, casting a golden glow over the kingdom, the king summoned his soldiers. His command was unusual. Place a huge rock in the middle of the main road. The soldiers, though puzzled, obeyed without question. After the massive boulder was set, the king led his sons up to a tall tower overlooking the road. From this vantage point, they would observe the day's events unfold. Before long, the rhythmic clatter of wheels announced the arrival of the king's most affluent courtiers. Their chariots, adorned with gold and silk, were a sight to behold. But as they approached the giant rock, their grand procession came to a halt. Expressions of annoyance twisted their faces. "What kind of king is this?" one grumbled, his voice dripping with disdain. "To let such an obstacle block the main road. It's preposterous." They complained loudly to each other, but not a single one made a move to clear the path. Instead, they commanded their drivers to turn their grand chariots around, choosing a longer, more inconvenient route, all while muttering about the kingdom's poor management. The king watched from the tower, a thoughtful expression on his face, as his sons observed the display of privilege and inaction. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher in the sky. Next to arrive was a group of farmers, their faces etched with the lines of hard work, returning from the fields. They walked slowly, their bodies weary from a long morning of labor. When they saw the colossal rock, they stopped. They exchanged tired glances. One of them sighed and said, "Perhaps this is a test from God." Another nodded in agreement. They stood for a moment, heads bowed in a silent prayer, asking for strength and guidance. Then, without attempting to move the obstacle, they carefully navigated around it, continuing their journey home. From the tower, the king pointed this out to his sons, showing them how some people resign themselves to fate, accepting obstacles without questioning or acting. Later in the afternoon, a figure on horseback appeared, galloping at full speed. It was the king's most loyal knight, a man renowned for his bravery and devotion. His eyes widened in alarm as he saw the rock blocking the path. He reined in his horse sharply, his mind racing. "This is a great danger," he thought. "An enemy could use this to ambush travelers, or it could cause a terrible accident at night." His first instinct, born of loyalty, was to protect his king and kingdom. He immediately turned his horse around and spurred it into a gallop, racing back to the castle to inform the king of the perilous situation on the road. He was a good man, loyal and concerned, but even he did not see it as his personal duty to move the rock himself. His solution was to report the problem, not to solve it. As dusk began to settle, casting long shadows across the land, the rock remained stubbornly in place. It had been there all day, a silent testament to the choices of all who had passed. It was a simple farmer, his shoulders stooped under the weight of a heavy sack of grain. He was clearly exhausted, his journey long and arduous. When he reached the massive rock, he stopped. He set down his heavy load with a weary sigh, wiping the sweat from his brow with the back of his hand. He looked at the rock, not with anger or resignation, but with a sense of purpose. He spoke aloud to himself, his voice quiet but firm. "If I don't move this," he reasoned, "someone else will have to struggle with it. A traveler in the dark might get hurt. The king cannot be everywhere at once, solving every single problem. We, the people, also have responsibilities to each other." With newfound resolve, he squared his shoulders and approached the boulder. He placed his hands against its rough surface and began to push. It was incredibly heavy. The muscles in his arms and back screamed in protest. His whole body trembled with the immense effort. Sweat poured down his face, stinging his eyes. For a moment, it seemed the rock would not budge. But he refused to give up. He took a deep breath, braced his feet, and pushed again with all his might. Slowly, inch by painstaking inch, the great rock began to move. He grunted and strained, his determination unwavering. Finally, with one last heroic shove, he managed to roll the rock completely off the road, clearing the path for all who would follow. Breathing heavily, he leaned against a tree to catch his breath. Curious, he picked it up. It was heavy. He opened it, and his eyes widened in astonishment. It was filled to the brim with glittering gold coins. At that very moment, the king and his sons descended from the tower and walked towards him. The farmer, startled, bowed deeply. The king smiled warmly and placed a hand on his shoulder. "My good man," the king said, his voice full of respect, "these coins are for you. You are the only one today who understood what it means to take responsibility." Then, turning to his sons, the king's expression became serious. "Look closely," he told them. "Obstacles on our path are not there simply to block us. They are there to test our character, to reveal who we truly are. Those who complain and turn back will never grow. Those who accept them without action will remain where they are. But those who face challenges with courage and a sense of duty, they are the ones who become truly strong. They are the ones who earn the rewards." The princes looked at the humble farmer, his simple clothes dusty and his face still shiny with sweat, holding a pouch of gold he had earned not by chance, but through character. And in that moment they finally understood. Leadership wasn't about giving orders or making grand speeches. It was about action. It was about taking responsibility, not just for oneself, but for the community. It was about having the courage to move the rocks in the road. If this story resonated with you, please show your support by liking this video, sharing it with someone who might need to hear it, and leaving a comment with your thoughts. We love hearing from you. See you in the next inspiring story right here on StoryZen. Thanks for watching.